Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, YouTube viewers, good morning, Facebook viewers, good morning, Instagram viewers. My name is Dennis Crosby, and again, good morning. Oh, wait a minute. Happy birthday, special shout out, from us to you, Ramon Bermudez Flores. Happy birthday, and have many, many more. Beautiful person, beautiful guy. Have an awesome day. Okay, and today we're going to start out. Our topic is something that was on another social media outlet, and it drew a lot of heat, and it kind of got a lot of heat from me yesterday. I did a video on it, but I deleted it not because of the content. I deleted it because of the quality. This is a better quality, and trust, it's going to be the same video. But I have more to add to it. Also, the most important part of that video. Another reason why I'm doing it over is because they cut a portion out. They edited the video, and that's is going to be key today, because I put the clip back in because I have the original. So I put that clip back in, and you're going to see it at some point. It's kind of dark, but it's like maybe a 2-minute clip, but it explains the article, where you can find the story, the date the story was written, and how it applies to our topic for today. And that topic is, can a single woman raise a boy, a male child, on her own without the help of the father? That was the question that was on social media. But I want to change that, because it shouldn't be just on one, and we got to stop that. That's another thing of why this morning motivation is beyond anything that you probably ever had to deal with, where someone is saying no. It's not just single mothers. There's also single fathers out there that are raising children. So it should go both ways, and this is what we do on this channel. We don't discriminate. We're in this together. We learn together. So, again, can a single woman raise a boy on her own? And, the responses was from all the women. Some of the men, yes, 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 yes. And some of the women said no. And some of the men said no. And what I want to do is, I want to say, not only give my opinion, but give the facts of why my opinion is factually based, factually sound, and that we should all take on, this new way of thinking, that we have to re-educate ourselves. There's a lot of brainwashing going on, and that's what that article you're going to see later is all about brainwashing, about manipulation, about giving half-truths of situations. All right? But we're going to go back to the question, and the question is, can a single woman raise a child, a male child, on her own? And the answer is no. And the reason why is because, number one, you have to look at define what a child is. And a child is literally a human. That's it. That's what we all are, human. Now let's look at what the definition of a human being is. Relating to or characteristics of people or human beings. So they're not saying that a human being is just one perception, one person, one thought. They're not saying that. They're saying that a human being is made up of many peoples. All right. Now you say, okay, now still it goes in the people who said yes, it goes in their favor to say, see, as long as there's people around, no, 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 no. We got to go back to, the scientist, the doctor who made that statement, give me 7 years with the child and I can make him do anything that I want. So he's telling you something, giving you a key of what we need to know, what we need to come to an understanding of. why that is important the first 7 years. Let's go back because I say these in some of my earlier videos. Characteristics of any human being on the face of this earth is developed in the first year of their life, the very, very first year. After that, there's no development, only conscious. We only repeat what we see. Now I'm going to give you our perceptions and attributes. The perceptions and attributes of any child is developed up until the year of 7 years old. After that, it's nothing. After that, we just go on consciousness. So we're not uh, we're not developing any farther than the first 7 years. All we're doing is we're updating what it is already inside of our subconscious, what we've already developed consciously as children. So if we think now those 7 years are important, now who's in, if one parent, let's look at it from one parent side. Now for the first 7 years of that child's life, they're with one parent. That means they take on one perception of life. Doesn't mean that they're not going to take on what, for the female raising a boy, for him to take on the male characteristics, later through life. But that's cheating your child. Think about that. Wait a minute, you're cheating your child. So this is where I'm saying this disconnect has to stop. We have to stop that disconnect because you're saying it's okay for my child to be born with a strike already against them. Because if you have both parents, then you have both perceptions. So that there's that sound ground, solid foundation for that child to go on to develop. So you've literally given the child the best opportunity to succeed in life with both parents there. So for the women and for the men who said yes, can a single woman raise a boy? The answer is yes. It is yes. Because if you don't have a choice, you have to do that. You have to do that. So that's respectable for anyone that in all who are doing that, no matter where they are. That's a big ups. But when we minimize in answering a question properly, and this is what we do not just on this subject, we do it on a lot of different things that are going on within our lives. We really have to stop. Because if we say that it's okay for we put this strike on our children to do this, but then we say, well, what if the person walks out? What if the guy walks out? Or what if the relationship doesn't work? And that's what I want to explain. That a lot of people that I've encountered who want to spend time, including myself, want to spend time with their children. It's usually the women who make it hard for the men to do that. And women, that this is a fact. And guys, they do the same thing that are raising their children. They'll do the same thing with, the mother who only wants to spend time with the kids. But it's like, most people, they want more. So it's like, if that person doesn't want it, then I'll just make it hard because this is what you want. And that's game. So when we think about how our children are developing, it goes with that story. It goes with that crime rate, where, the crime rate is higher. The death rate is higher, that where teens are, teen violence is a lot higher within single family homes. It's just a fact, and the fact will never change. No matter what you pull out, it will never change. But it's not our fault that, this is happening. There's just something else that's in play. And we're going to talk about that today. So we know that the most important years of our lives, we know that the most important years of our life are the young years of our lives. Those we can't get back. And those we can't redevelop. And, a lot of people go through life with trauma because of that. So if there's, a separation in family, but there's a lot of arguing going on, that's like trauma bonding the children. So, for the first 7 years, and they carry on that perception through life. So the first 7 years is most important for a child, no matter what, important. So, I want to go And I'm going to talk a little bit about this article that, I put the clip back in. It's kind of dark. And what this article talks about uh, is basically where you'll tell a story, but you're not given the whole complete truth. And the one thing when you watch it, I want to remind you of, I guess his name is, he's a rapper, where, he got involved in prison reform. The prison reform that was taking place now in today's day, this is why, all information, you say, oh, well, that happened back then, and that article was written back in 2012, time passed. No, we're talking about, they just signed for prison reform this year. So, this is something that had to be fought for. So it ties in where they say, single women, you deserve an apology, because they push such so much light on single women for raising their kids and pushing the blame on the crime rate on them. No, it's wrong anyway, because media is the one who pushed it on you anyway. The things that you watch, the propaganda pushes the blame on you. It's not our fault. It's the fault of what we have to deal with, what we have to work with. So that's nobody's fault. And, we're going to correct that today. But I want to share this part because this part wasn't added in. I want to give two different scenarios. When we talk about can a single woman raise a child, all right, I want to give you two different scenarios of my life and two different outcomes and why it's important to allow a man to be in the child's life, well as why it's important to have a woman, if you're a man, raising children, to be in those children's lives. And put your differences aside. We got to stop that stupid thinking. Stop manipulating stuff. But let me come composed. All right. So whereas one, I have a son, and then I have daughters by two different women. So with my son, mother never, never, she more or less pushed my son to me. You know what I mean? And our relationship. I want to explain that relationship. The relationship that I have with my son. It's hard. There's nothing easy about it. There's a lot of resentment, and I had to go through that as a father, and I had to deal with some harsh stuff, and I probably pushed some harsh stuff on him as well, and it was a give and take, and it was a struggle. But now through that struggle, we got something that's beautiful. You know what I mean? We have something that's beautiful because, every child wants that parent to stay with that other parent, no matter how they act or no matter what they say. Oh, I'm glad my dad's going. Oh, I'm glad my mom. No, they're not. No, they're not. Let's stop that. So, our relationship is a good relationship now. And like the pride that I have in him is great. And every day I know that I let him know that I'm there. I support him, that I love him. That's my son. I'm going to stick with him for the rest of his life. So now we have on the other side, we have my daughters. Now, if I have that bond with him, and my daughters know because I raised them for the first 7 years of their lives, before the relationship and everything and all that stuff went south. So once that relationship ended, it was not only me that she didn't allow to see me to see my daughters, but no one on my side of the family. My daughters don't talk to anyone. So women, we have to say to ourselves, there's a lot more to a question like, can a single woman raise a child, a male child, or any child on her own, and any child? And the answer is no. But there's also more to that question. And we have to deal with that more in order to change things. We have to become conscious. Now we say I'm a different father to one child than I would be to my other children. That's completely wrong. It's completely wrong. It's completely false. And so, what I want to leave us with in a positive way is that, together we're in this, and together we have to learn. And, get that article, look that article up, that, the clip that I'm putting in here, get that article and see. They'll tell you, they'll give, media will give you so much of these facts, but they leave out so much. and they leave out the important parts, and they leave you, and they let you go on what is a false narrative. And the false narrative is that you don't need a man. And, lastly, question, and the question is, for male and man, or the men or the women out there, name a movie where a family is just positive. Everything in the family is positive, and it's not a holiday. Ding, 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 tick tock, tick tock, tick tock. All right, most movies that you see that are about families, either there's abuse going on in there, or it's a struggle, and everything is, they fight all the odds to come up out of the situation, or the person's a cheater or a scandalous affair, so you have to think about what it is that we're seeing, and we also have to think about what it is that they're showing our children, and you also have to say, is this beyond us? Because if it was for us, they show more positive stuff, and that's something that you don't get. And you'll say to yourself, or you'll say, oh, well, they do it on TV. They do it on TV all the time. Think about what they're doing on TV. I've watched some of these kids shows that they got, and it's like little adults running around. Little adults running around. That's not the proper development of a child either. A child is supposed to grow. A child is supposed to have respect for parents, for the community. And these aren't our fault. It's the fault of the people who we put in these offices that they make things, instead of encouraging, family-orientated, community-orientated things, they're not doing it. Everything else is on the bad stuff. We got to be hard on crime. We have to save the trees. Everything and anything else except how to make the family, not American family, but the human family better. So I'm not going to leave you with too much, because I want you to watch the clip. But I just want to leave you with a thought, something positive. For any relationship, or for any person, for any individual, male or female, real strength is a team effort. That's real strength. One person cannot move a mountain, but together we can move it a lot quicker. All right? So, or you can move it, but together we can move it a lot quicker. All right? So, and real love, lastly, is a process. Real love is a process, and we have to start loving ourselves, and we have to start loving our children, and we have to put things aside and never have to answer a question, can a single mother raise a boy? We should never have to ask a question like that, because we have to become a village again. We have to put our differences aside, and we have to, focus on these children and not our own individual issues. So with that, I want to say to everyone, have an awesome day. So click like, subscribe, and once again, Ramon, who is a subscriber and a viewer, have an awesome day. Happy birthday. And there's some birthdays that are coming up all week, so I'm going to start announcing, some of these birthdays that are coming out, of the people that watch this channel and support this channel. And with that, everyone, I want to say peace, and click like, subscribe, share, go into the playlist. In the playlist, I talk about all different topics. So, if you look something up, like the question, usually it's the question. So, like, can a single mother raise a child? You'll see other videos on different topics. But I'll always leave you with facts. I'm not just going to give you an opinion. I'm going to explain why, things are outside of us. Oh, also, if you have a chance, in 1959, Lyndon B. Johnson signed an act where they tore down all those single homes of people of color throughout the land and built housing projects. And they enacted the Welfare Act, which is still going on today. This is what Trump is after, that Welfare Act. Now, In that Welfare Act, when he signed that, he specifically stated that the husband could not be in the home. That's when families started breaking up. Do your math and go back to when it all started if you really, really want the truth. And with that, I want to say to everyone, have a beautiful day. And, you know, the love is out there. We are on this channel. We love everybody, male, female. We love you. We want the world to be a better place. And we want to come to a new way of thinking that promotes positivity instead of the questions that we just had to answer. And with that, click like, subscribe, share, peace, and blessings.